talk to us a little bit about the mistakes people make or the way of viewing detox, I want to say the informative way and the role that it actually has to play when done correctly versus the way a lot of people tend to approach it, because people tend to quote unquote detox incorrectly, in my opinion, for a whole host of reasons.
Absolutely. We have so many clients that have done detoxes, whether they're like, I've done a juice cleanse, I bought this tea detox kit, I bought this other kit, I bought all of these supplements this influencer recommended. And, we love a good detox when it's done correctly. The first thing that we talk, like when we hear, oh, I started a detox, we kind of like cringe a little bit because like, oh, no. Did we open the detox pathways first? Because if we start just, especially acne sufferers, if you start just doing a detox and you're not pooping every single day, your lymph is stagnant, your kidneys, we're not getting enough hydration in the day. All of these things need to be taken into consideration, because if we just throw a bunch of supplements in it, where are these toxins going to go? Well, your skin. They're going to recirculate through the body because they're going to be stuck there. You're going to feel like crap. Your Herx reaction is going to be 10 times worse than it should be. And a Herx reaction is kind of it's a natural thing that happens, very normal, where when you start detoxifying the body or microbiome rebalancing, there's a temporary worsening of new existing or current symptoms. Very common to happen. However, we don't want it to happen so severely that you feel like you have the flu for 5 days. So we want to be making sure these pathways are open properly before we detox, so the toxins and things can get out, versus just recirculating and then heading to the skin, inflaming the pores, and leading to more breakouts. So this is why detoxifying properly, and we really love a food-focused detoxification where we're focused on a lot of those foods that are naturally going to help the body detoxify. Absolutely adding the supplements in, but just knowing that your supplements shouldn't be the only part, and also lifestyle habits. So, can we be making sure we're sleeping, we're moving, if you have access to a sauna, all of those things are going to be great.
What would be some of your favorite foods for detoxifying?
Ooh, how long do we have? Well, we all know about our lovely citrus, phenomenal for liver health. We want to be focusing on protein because your liver needs protein. I think this could be one we can highlight, asterisk, underline all of it, because I don't know if you see this, Brian, with your clients, but women with my clients are such undereaters of protein. It's the macronutrient they're missing the most of. Like, men are easy, they'll eat the protein, but when you come to women, they're like, oh no, I'm just like snacking on this. So really focusing on your protein intake.
Do you have a preference? Sorry to cut across you, just because
No, please.
I agree completely. It's exactly what a lot of my women struggle with, particularly with body composition and those that are in the perimenopausal space, particularly just from years of eating a certain way. But one of the things I have to jump in early is whole foods, real food with protein, not your bar fortified with protein, not your cereal fortified with protein, not your insert normal food here with added protein. It's getting it from a whole source as much as possible. Your lean meats, your fish, oily or white, if it's, ideally without anything added to it as much as possible, if it's detoxification is the goal. Is that what you recommend on your side as well?
Absolutely. So for whole food proteins, we want to be looking at, if you're an omnivore, you eat animal protein's great. Yeah, the lean proteins, even quality beef can be really great, because really you are what your proteins eat. So if we have it in our budget to afford a better quality protein, amazing. I love that. Or clean fish. If you're a plant-based eater, so you're looking at the lentils, the legumes, the nuts, the seeds, like nuts and seeds are going to be more of your snacks, but you'll really focus around the lentils, legumes, maybe some organic tempeh, and just making sure you're getting enough of that protein in. And then not relying on the protein bar. Sure, we can have that in, like, if we're out shopping and we need to eat something great, but we shouldn't be relying on that for our breakfast every single morning. Absolutely, we can be using whole food protein powders. I think they can be really helpful, but making sure that you're looking for a clean one, doesn't have all of the additives in it, from whole food sources. That's, whether it's from a beef source, it's from plant source, just looking for a good option there. I think, protein for sure.
Love it. Beautiful advice. And the line there, podcast listeners for a long time would have heard me say this, because I think I said it ad nauseum for about 100 episodes in a row, is that you're not just what you eat, you are what your food eats. So if you're
100%.
if you're omnivore and you're eating meats, you want your beef to be grass-fed, grass-finished, etc. Again, we're luckier over here in Ireland, in the UK, because of, one, the way that the ground is set up, but also the EU regulations. But again, I know in the North America, Canada's not as bad as the US for this. I lived in the US and this was just a free-for-all. You could literally put whatever you want. It's absolutely insane.
Wild.
It's wild, not in the good way, because that's what you're talking about fish. You're like, go wild fish, but we're saying wild in the negative, insane way.
It gets crazy.
It really is. So it's very important for people to understand this. And I think depending on what you're looking to do with detoxification and detox, you will want to go as clean as possible, i.e., I would remove those protein bars. And I love protein bars. Big fan. I'm an 80/20.
Yep,
80% of your
80/20.
food, nutrient dense, whole foods, 20% foods that you love. Protein bars fit into that for me. They're chocolate bars with 20 grams of protein, but I think they taste great. They're more satiating. I'm a big fan. But again, when you're doing a detox, you might want to remove those for a period of time so that you're able to flush everything out the correct way. Out of curiosity, what's the biggest mistake you see people making with detoxing? You mentioned there about not being able to get it out. In
Yes.
terms of, is that the biggest mistake people
Yes.
make? So what is it that hinders that or impedes that happening? What's the protocol that they're following that's stopping it and
Mhm.
it's making it recirculate?
Yes, so I'm gonna bring it back down to constipation, and if you're dealing with chronic constipation, and for a lot of people, they don't know what that is. So if you're not having a bowel movement 1 to 3 times a day, smooth, easy, you're not straining those no undigested food, stool, mucus, or food, blood, mucus in your stool, that's a healthy bowel movement. So we have a lot of clients who are like, "Oh, I'm 45 and I had no idea that going to the bathroom once a week wasn't normal," because nobody talks about these things. We weren't taught it in school. So a lot of people just don't know this until they're told by a practitioner. So number 1 is making sure that you're having a bowel movement every single day. So because if we don't get that stool out, that's how we're getting rid of excess estrogen, the toxins, the bacteria, the yeast, the thing the body wants to get out to get rid of. If it sits there too long, it's going to start to pull back into the bloodstream, recirculate through the body. Voila, heading to liver, overwhelming our detox organs, our skin's getting the brunt of it. So we're not getting the full effect because we're not releasing the detox. We're not releasing the toxins. But a lot of people also find if they're used to eating that standard North American diet and they quickly switch to this super clean, they see really big shifts in their bowel movements because they're not used to processing all this fiber, not used to processing all this protein. So maybe they are dealing with diarrhea, they are dealing with new constipation they previously didn't have, but they don't have the knowledge in order how to fix that. So is it that we need to be adding in some magnesium citrate to be opening up the bowels a little bit? Is it that we need to be adding a binder in to be binding up the stool, or even a binder that helps to bind the toxins we're trying to release to flush them from the system? Getting enough water in the day, because a lot of people, they'll go do a detox, but they're not drinking half of their body weight in ounces at least every single day, more if they're active. So it's these tiny little nuances that they're not aware of that are just going to be a mess of when they're doing a detox.